dust, and we put a lot of damage on him. We look at his mana, he's got 170 life and 55 mana after that Entangle Focus. So we know he's not going to come back and cancel that gold mine, or else he's just going to die. So I mean, yeah, if he wants to trade canceling the gold mine once for 9, that's fine. So we don't really have to camp the gold mine like sometimes you would camp it a little bit, or at least keep a couple hunts there. So right now we're just going to the middle. This is a good thing to creep now. We're stronger, and we want to clear the middle because Huntresses are really fast, and if you clear the middle, then you have this big middle ground of null wood you can use to sort of maneuver around and use your Huntress speed to get good position on your enemies. But if the middle creeps are still there, then you try to do that, and especially if you're sort of careless like I am, you're going to end up bringing hunts into the creeps, and it's not going to be pretty. So meanwhile, Strife's starting his tech also to try to catch up a little bit, but he stayed tier 1 a while to get a very, very strong army that would defend us early game. He's got some upgrades on his Huntresses. I'm going to be going like a mass damage army. I'm going to be getting a lot of archers with some Dryades and some Druids of the town as support units. And I got Alchemists, which is the best DPS here in the game as well. So we're going to be combining, that acid bomb, fairy fire, and a lot of archers with true shot to just win without micro, basically. I could do Dryades or something, but that's a really big classic mistake, is that people transition from mass Huntresses into Dryades, and that's really just a terrible idea. Look, my hero's gonna get killed here. I'll explain why it's a terrible idea in a second. So my hero's gonna get killed here. A little bit careless by me. I should have put my Huntresses next to it to protect it, and then I could have blocked this round and ran out. But even though he got my Priestess, it's really not that bad, because if you notice how much damage output our units have with that Alchemist and a couple dots, is that in just a very short time to Grubby to kill my Priestess, his guys are all beat up. I mean, he's only got one grunt that's really going to be of much use, and the rest are all damaged. And that means that this is like the ideal time for him to push before Expo kicks in. He's got a statue, he's got a Lich. They should have a walker, but I guess Grubby's not going walkers this game, which I think is kind of a mistake. But anyways, so the reason why mass Dryades are really bad is because if you look at Huntresses, in that big fight, because of their unarmored armor, and they only have 600 life, they're really going to die very quickly. That's a disadvantage of Huntresses. The advantage is they do a lot of damage. If you compare them to grunts, it looks like they do the same damage, but Huntresses really do 50% more damage because of that bounce attack. And also, they're going to be doing a lot of damage because a lot of the enemy's units are going to be Raiders and Fiends, which both take extra damage from Huntresses. And so Huntresses are really like a unit that does a lot of damage but dies really quickly. And Dryades are the opposite. Dryades do shit damage. I mean, the Dryade does less damage than an Archer because it attacks slower. And it's a 3-food unit, so I mean, it's a terrible damage dealing unit, but because of its magic immunity and fast movement speed and slow poison, it's very survivable. But if you mass a unit that's survivable with low damage and a unit that's high damage and non-survivable, all that's going to happen is a few minutes into the fight, all your Huntresses are going to die instantly. And during those few minutes, the Huntresses will do some good damage, but your Dryades will have done nothing. And so half your army will be useless the first few minutes of the fight, the Dryades, because then it's most skill damage output you want. And at the end of the fight, your Huntresses are going to be useless because they're all going to be dead. So you're going to be fighting a fight with half an army throughout the whole fight, effectively. So that's why we're doing this Archer-Dryade mix, because that's a really, as long as you focus mainly on Archers and just a few dots and a few Dryades for support, you're going to have a huge amount of damage output. And so, yeah, your Huntresses might die quick, but by the time those Huntresses die, those Archers, Druids, and Alchemists, along with the Huntress attacks, are going to dismantle the enemy's entire army really quickly. So that's why it's a much better follow-up. As you notice, I'm producing a bear right now too. It just finished, and that roar is going to be tremendously helpful as well. Now, if you go back to the sort of the strategy of the game, we see Grubby and Happy trying to counter expand and defend the middle to hold that mana fountain. They're building towers there, which isn't a bad idea. The problem is he sent 3 raiders to cancel that protector. So that's drawing units from the middle. And the other problem is Grubby made 4 raiders, which are near useless in this fight. So basically the army is going to be tremendously inferior. This is the ideal time for us, you know. Yeah, we're attacking the middle and health fountain. You know, yeah, Grubby's building a tower and a mana fountain. Yeah, Grubby's building a tower and those demos are untouched. But our army is the perfect attack move army. And their army isn't. Raiders are terrible in attack move. And Fiends are far worse than Archers. If you look, an Archer does as much damage as a Crypt Fiend with Roar and True Shot. Even more if you count in all that armor reduction. And if Fiends, you know, a 3-food unit, it costs, you know, a lot more. And I mean, because of our army composition, there's no way they're going to win just an attack move all in, you know, who can kill who first attack move fight. And that's, I mean, you can see that in that fight right there. They just got totally rolled. And that, I mean, that fight pretty much sealed the deal for them. And so now we're going to be picking up heal scrolls. That's one of the things a lot of people like Master Eyes is because they're like, oh, you know, Archer Dot's going to get torn up by AoE. Well, you know, I mean, if you look, what Happy's got only level 2 Lich, level 1 Pit Lord. The AoE's not that painful, and a couple of heal scrolls can stop that. You know, as opposed to Master Eyes, you can actually totally dominate fights with Archer Dot, and that'll allow you to, you know, contain them, make sure the heroes don't get much experience, and so you don't have to worry about AoE too much. So yeah, we're gonna come in and push this expansion. Now we got a couple heal wards. I throw up another roar. I mean, that's a sickening. Archer's doing 27 damage minimum. I mean, it's a 2-food unit. It's not supposed to do 27 damage minimum with a fast attack rate and a really long range. So we can use Entangle here too, which is really strong because he didn't get walkers. The one destroyer is gonna go down really quick to archers. And if you notice, he actually entangled Dakota Bear, which isn't even close to destroyer. So that's really good. Sorry there. So again, we're just kind of attack moving. You can sort of over micro too much using this army. Some people, if you try to avoid the AoE too much, wow, look at that Pit Lord go down. He just died in like 2 volleys. Yeah, it's, I mean, even I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, it's kind of imbalanced. But it's just the unit composition is just so much stronger than the one they made. But yeah, some people try to dodge at Rain of Fire too much, and especially level 1. Rain of Fire does some damage to you, but